Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this week's Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz, and I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. And today I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Shane Tokheim. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? That sounded a little like rough, dude. Have you not done this in a while?
I took a couple weeks off because I was busy, and I'm sure
we've never had to take two, but we had to take two.
Yeah, but we're going to cut that part out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. I don't know. You weren't ready for it, and I jumped in.
I was
and then
ready.
You were like laughing, and I was like distracted by it.
Yeah.
So I guess your phone's buzzing. Man, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
John Totten. A little shout out for John.
Yeah.
But what's been going on, man?
Well, I was just there. That's probably what he's calling about. And went through a training. It was pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah. So what was that about? You were like, man, that was really good.
It was really good. Somewhat over my head. I'm old school, as you know, and this was all about AI. It wasn't all about AI. The title of it was AI, so I was like, oh. But then he talked about a lot of the things that I normally talk about. So it was just real good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's technology is always changing.
Yeah,
and keeping up with it. I played around with one AI last week. I still got to dig a little bit deeper, but all I did was take the YouTube clip of this and put it in there and clicked produce. It came up with 30 different shorts.
Wow.
Had it all captioned out. Had the video would be like on you when you're talking and on me when I'm talking, just all by itself. I was like, that's insane.
That is insane.
So definitely going to be incorporating that. There's a couple others I want to check out before I figure out which one I'm going to be using.
Cool.
But AI, it's a thing.
Oh, for sure.
What I love about it is I don't like it taking away any of the personal like connection, right? I think that's always going to be there. That's always going to be important. But it's things like that can save you time. You know, a lot of people are back into video, right? And can you produce that at a higher level? Let AI do some of the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to spin your wheels and take so much time doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
newsletters, tracking your day, planning your month, planning your year.
Yeah,
all like everything was automated. Like, yeah, I mean, there was some books that he recommended. There, one of my, I mean, I wrote down them all, but there was one called "Buy Back Your Time." I'm gonna read it for sure. But
that's a book.
Yeah, it's a book. Basically, delegating responsibilities for stuff that's below your level of hourly earnings.
Yeah, I like that. Was it specifically talking about AI or like hiring assistants type of thing?
Both. He talked quite a while before he got into the whole AI thing. But I mean, he's a productivity coach somewhat. Okay. And he specializes in managing your time.
Yeah.
It seemed like. Yeah.
Speaking of managing our time, we're coming up with a topic today, and we have a good one for you. We're going to talk a little bit about having a plan. And I know we've talked about this before. I know I've experienced this just recently. I spent a week in Vegas, so I wasn't really working the whole time. And then I came back and just trying to get everything back on track. So I wasn't really productive. I did busy work more than anything. Didn't really generate the business like we need to focus on. But then this week so far, I just mapped it all out and put it in a schedule, and boom, it's very clear. And then you just execute the plan. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But I like this. You mentioned it. What would you do differently if you started over today?
Yeah.
And this relates perfectly because I have a friend of mine, Patrick Bean, shout out, brand new agent. Man, he's running out of the gate. And I'm super excited for him. I think he's going to do great. But he just joined last week, like Tuesday or Wednesday. And he had his first open house on Saturday. Right out of the gate, 20 people showed up, 20 contacts. So I was like, that's amazing. So let's do something with that. He's at Ninja Installation right now, and I'm sure it's great information. I can't wait to pick his brain and see how that went. But let's jump back to, are you a planner as far as your day and your week goes? What does that look like? So do you ever get off track?
Yeah. As much as I preach plan your day, I don't necessarily. I mean, I usually, while I'm at gyms, if I'm by myself or before my client gets there, I do like plan my day. I write down probably 4 or 5 priorities that I need to get done. But generally, I knock those out either while I'm there or, immediately following. So I plan, at least my morning is pretty planned out all the way through probably about 1 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, I do plan, but I think my job is very regimented anyway. So I can't help but be on schedule. I think real estate agents have more freedom and more flexibility, they think. And so I think that's why most of them are, all over the place to some extent.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also in even talking with Patrick, I'll probably bring his name up a decent amount because it was so fresh last week. But there's so many things you can do. Another agent calls it shiny object syndrome. Like, oh, what about that? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? It's like, oh my God, like 20, 30, 40 plus things of like how to generate the business. And it's like, just focus on 2 or 3 things, and for me, we've broken it down to like, when I'm writing out my schedule here, and when Danny Charbel came in last week and talked about it, he said one of the biggest things he learned from his first coach was just scheduling and planning out his day. And he said he was encouraged to start with his personal time. Just block it out. Those are the easy things. So like every time I go into my calendar and set it, 12 to 1 is lunch. Just put it all the way across, right? And that might move around a little bit, but there's the lunch period. And then I also do dinner, like 7 to 8 is dinner, and again, it might move around, but then it kind of gives me guides to go, okay, now what am I doing from 8:30 to noon? I'm plugging it in. For me, it's a social media post for 30 minutes, a reading for 30 minutes, social media interaction for 30 minutes. All right. And then I go into my hot warm list. So the nuts and bolts for me is hot warm list, Facebook Marketplace, generating some online leads, database management, and real estate reviews. Those are the 3 or 4 like bullets that I'm trying to accomplish every single day. So then I just plug that in. And usually that takes me, 10 to 11 right here on this coming Friday. I have nothing really scheduled, but just a work day, so 10 to 11 is my hot warm, 11 to 12 is my marketplace. I take a lunch. I might even extend my lunch, and I have on here 2 to 3, I'm going to do database management, and 3 to 4, I'm going to do real estate reviews. And if I do those 4 things, that's really all I need to do. How often
are you doing real estate reviews?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah. If I committed to just real estate reviews every day, it'd probably generate more business.
For sure.
So it's definitely, and I might need to consider like moving that around and putting that maybe first thing and putting the other stuff, in the back burner.
You could easily do 2 a day.
Yeah,
easily.
For sure. So you're getting blown up, man.
I know, it's probably him.
Yeah, Mr. Popular. But it's super important. And then, I'm able to figure out when I have white space. Usually it's I try to do like, that's travel time, right? It's probably going to take me 30 minutes to get here or there. I have a lunch and learn that I'm attending on Thursday, so I block that out. And then I try to go, okay, well, if that's there and lunch is here, where am I going to put my hot warm time? It's got to be here or there. All right. And for me, this visual Google Calendar really helps me. I know I've shown some other agents, they're like, oh my God, anxiety of like, that's crazy busy. So you got to figure out what works for you. But bottom line is, if it's not on your calendar, it's not going to get done. There's certain things that I've been thinking about doing for the podcast that I have never put on the calendar. And guess what? They haven't been done. So it's like, okay, well, where am I going to squeeze that in? Where am I going to put that in and make it happen? So that's something that I'm continuing to work on. And it's very noticeable in the past month that, man, those first 2 weeks were super planned out and well organized and well executed overall. And then like the week that wasn't, it was chaotic. And then now back on track.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I talked a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to come up for air.
No, that's good. If we're talking about what I would do if I would start over. If I started today as a real estate agent, I think more, that would be more on target. Maybe possibly hiring a coach, because I think I probably need one less than most people. I don't know why I say that, because I feel like I'm just a self-motivator, but I think, you, for example, everybody that's in my group, for all 26 examples, for the most part, we know what to do. And why aren't we doing it? Because we don't have an accountability coach. That's probably why. And can I hold all 26 of those people accountable every week? To some extent, right? But I put up the numbers and there's zeros up there. A lot of people have zeros, and I'm literally calling them out in front of the whole group. Yeah. And still, like I called one of them today. I said, dude, you had all zeros. Why? And he gave me a bad excuse, but I mean, a reason. And I was like, dude, that's not good. And he goes, I know, I need to be better. So, and I think next week he'll be better. But look, that's me calling him, telling him you need to be better, you know, and most people don't have that. So number one, a coach. Number two, yes, a plan. And hopefully I don't know if the coach can, you know, some coaches give you a plan. Some people just say, what's your plan? I'll hold you accountable, whatever. Both of those are good. But secondly, I think most people don't make the CRM or the database management. That is probably the number one thing where people fail. And so like last week I asked, like, what's everybody's database management level? And, you know, you and Ashley are the highest 2, and everybody else is like basically at a 1 or a 2, maybe. Yeah. You know, and I think that's where people fail. And I think they fail because they're afraid to be too pushy or too salesy or they think they're bothering people, you know. But we got to remember, we're running a business, and these people are potentially your clients. You don't have to treat them like clients. You treat them like friends, like they are more than likely, and just have conversations that a friend would have. Yeah. With sometimes gentle reminders of that you're a real estate agent, but not always, and maybe not ever. Yeah. You know, as long as they know, that's okay. So anyway, I think that's what I would do. Day one, I would go right through my phone and start calling every single person that I know that's not a real estate agent and let them know I'm a realtor and these are the things I'll do for you. You know, the real estate review. I'll do that for every single person in my phone, right? Whether they want it or not, I'll send it to them. You know, 2 a day or whatever. Set a goal. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, and I think it all starts with a list. You know, and I've part of my business is, you know, the agent attraction thing, which we don't talk too much about, but you know, it all kind of starts with the list. You know, and if you don't have a list of names, then you don't really know where to start, right? And so again, going back to talking to Patrick, I'm like, okay, pull names. These are the people from your phone. These are people from your car group. These are the people from the restaurant group, etc. And compile them and put them kind of in one spot or different tabs in your spreadsheet. But then you got to, you know, get their contact information. Maybe you just have their phone number. Maybe you have their email or not. But get all that information. And the funny thing is when you have that list and you just simply look at it for 10 seconds, you see a name that sparks your mind, and you go, oh, let me text them something. Yeah. Oh, I just saw this. It made me think of this person. You know, and again, going back to, I think the failure rate is so high in real estate because we simply just don't have that list. Yeah. You know, and then sometimes we overthink it, and it's like we all do have that list. It's just in your phone. You literally have to pull up contacts and just kind of scroll through and go, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a while. I haven't talked to this person in a while. You know, and then, or if you are big into social media, go to Facebook, go to your friends list and start scrolling through there and go, wow, I haven't talked to that person in a long time. Oh, I would love to reach out to them, see how they're doing. Or, oh, they just posted this, you know, so you get inspiration by intentionally looking at a list of names, and that's going to spark something in your mind, guarantee.
Sure. It's like John in our group was saying, he went through his top 50.
That was good.
And he sent them something meaningful, like whatever they might have in common with him. Like they maybe went to a restaurant together, or they like coffee, or they like whatever. And he sent them a significant gift, I guess. Yeah. And
there's a personal card with a gift card.
And it didn't, I'm assuming, I guess we should have asked, it didn't say like, don't forget I'm a realtor, or, you know, any of that. It was just like, hey, I was thinking about you. Here's a gift card for your favorite steakhouse. I remember when we went there, or something, you know, a personal connection with something related to that personal connection. And he said he's got listings coming up. He's got business generated through that, but with the intention of just connecting.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things, obviously, is, especially if you're starting off, an announcement letter of some sort. Whether that's an email, whether that's a mail out, whether it's a social media. Mine was on social media. But that's super important. Like, and it is scary, right? I mean, Patrick was in the restaurant business for 30 years. Everybody knows Patrick as the restaurant manager, and this and that. But he's like, here I am, I'm stepping out. It's a little scary. And it's like, hey, I love this. And I have to remind myself, the people that matter don't care. And the people that care don't matter. So I want you to think about that. The people that are that care and like, oh, that's ugly, they don't matter. Like they don't matter. All right. And then I'm getting myself confused. But yeah, go back and re-listen to that. Yeah. So I don't have to say it again. But it's a good one. I heard that somewhere. Yeah. But it's like, you're right. Like, don't think about it too much. Put it out there. The worst thing you could do is be a secret agent, right? To where, oh, I didn't even know you had your license.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the worst.
That's really bad.
Yeah. If I'm Patrick, I'm calling everybody, but I'm calling everybody that I know, saying like, hey, you know me as this, and I'm going to give you the same passion and energy and top service that you had as a manager of the food industry. I'm going to give that to you now in real estate. For sure. And every one of his people, because you can see, like, just talking to that guy for 5 minutes, that he has that.
Yeah,
and
he has that big time.
But he's, I don't want to say him, but we're all afraid somewhat to do that. And I'm not sure why. Yeah. I guess the fear of rejection.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can get over that, the better.
Yeah.
And well, what else? What else comes to mind if you're a new?
Yeah. The again, going back to the training I went to this morning, he mentioned this. I think maybe this is what he started off with, and it was very made you look inward. And he said, like, let me ask you this: how much time do you waste on social media? Oof. And everybody was like, dang, yeah. And even me, like, and I'm not even big on it.
You're not a social media guy.
I'm not even at all, but I do waste time. Those reels, dude, they're so funny.
Yeah.
And if somebody sends you one, all of a sudden
you're scrolling.
Yeah. And 20 minutes can go by like that. Yeah. And so I talk to agents, and I say that, and they're always like, yeah, but I'm liking or I'm interacting with my clients. Okay, yes, you need to do that, but how distracted are you? If you actually looked and you had a timer rolling on just scrolling through stuff that doesn't matter, I guarantee it's way too high. Even your screen time, you can go and check that, and you should.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say, I don't think, like when you're looking at reels as opposed to liking your clients, posts or interacting with clients. But still, you're going to know. I mean, deep down how much time did I really waste and how much time was good. I mean, so I think y'all need to, take a look at that. A good hard look. All of us, me, everybody.
The first thing that you said to start off that was the training that I attended this morning. And I think a lot of agents don't do enough training and ongoing training.
Yeah.
And you got to continue to feed your mind and can, even if it's the same message. I know that's something that really helped me succeed in the beginning was I attended a lot of training and I still go to training and I still listen to things and I go, how many times have I been in your group? 4 or 5 different times. Yeah. And it's a very similar message, or I meet somebody new, or, oh, I like that idea. I got motivated by, what's her name? That partnered with the lender to do coffee, opened up a tab at Black Rifle.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's a good idea.
That was good.
Yeah.
Who was that? Aisha?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's good.
And then, she acted like it was a lot of money, but in the end, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean the thing is, one lead,
bill.
One deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pays for, endless amount of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's true. So
that was great.
Yeah, attend trainings, stay in the front of things that are changing, and be in the know. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
I did a lot of open houses, and I think they really work well. In fact, I'm doing one this Saturday for a lot of my friends are agents, and they do open houses, and the numbers seem to be going really well. And it's really crazy because everybody's like, oh, the market, nobody wants to buy, blah, blah, blah. People want to buy.
Yeah.
They're looking.
Yeah.
They're maybe not like ready to go right now, but just start putting them in your database, put them in your pipeline, and do it.
If you got to buy or sell, you got to buy or sell. It's a fact of life. There's people that are still buying or selling. And if you're doom and gloom and you're saying nobody's buying or selling, that's not true.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, so what is it? 6% of your database is always buying and selling every year. Okay, so maybe it's 5 now, but still, I mean,
There's still people.
it's still people. You know,
Yeah.
but heaven forbid if you miss one that's in your database and they buy or sell without you because you're doom and gloom. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody asked me about my email. My email is doing pretty decent, but I only started it like 2 years ago. Patrick asked me, duh. He goes, well, why didn't you do your email at the beginning? I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't do it, you know. And
no one told me to.
yeah, I guess I was just doing open houses and other things, and but I started my email coming up on a full 2 years of pretty much doing it every single week. I think in the 2 year span, I know I've missed less than 10.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty good, and it's something that you do consistently, and it's a long-term play. It's not like, hey, I sent out 2 emails and I got business. It could happen that way, but it's probably not, you know? But it's another way to stay in front.
That's
and I remember early on, I was like, what the hell is this marketing and like this and that? It's just another way of marketing, right? It's getting your face in front of people and making them realize that this is what I do and this is the service I provide,
right?
You know, and then some helpful tips and tricks and things like that.
And it's automated, but you're still top of mind. That's it. And it legitimizes you. You know, you're like, oh, Tony's legit. Like he's got, you know,
and he does it consistently. Like he's committed to it.
It's like also in this thing I went to this morning, they talked about having a digital business card, and you know, he said like I do. He said somebody asked me for my business card one time. I was like, a business card? I mean, what century are you in? You know, no, I don't have a business card. I have a page. I have a digital, you know, and you log on. And then it also, that when they open that, then it puts them right into your CRM. Then that leads them to getting on your email. And it's a flow.
And there's a link to your social media.
It's just systematized. Everything all of a sudden is working. He talked about like having just everything automated through AI and sending out every email, just auto flow all the time. Oh, it was really incredible.
Well, I mean, even Ninja Selling talks about it.
Yeah.
Right. There's auto flow, and I can't remember. I guess it's active flow or something like that. I know it's auto flow, but they talk about the email or something like that at least 3 times a month. It's like, well, that's pretty much every single week. So the weekly email, I got the weekly email from Ricky Carruth. Ricky Carruth also talks about you have to treat your email like another social media stream, right? So it's just you're doing Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and email. You know, it's just kind of the same message in all of the places. So it's everywhere, right? So that's super important. One of the first books I read, of course, it's right here. Tim and Julie Harris, Harris Rules. I looked up because I love podcasts. I looked up when I first started best podcast in real estate, and that one popped up. And they talk about making sure that your business has multiple spokes of income, right? Obviously, you have your database, you know, but you need online leads, open houses, different things, and you get to choose, right? You don't need to do all of them, but it's important. You can't just go, I'm only going to do database, you know. To really grow and expand, you need other revenue streams. So, you know, that could be social media. I like to do Facebook Marketplace. I still dabble in that from time to time. There's still plenty of people out there that, you know, spark up conversation. I have somebody moving in from Alabama from Facebook Marketplace. That's like, she's renting, but I know she wants to buy, but she's just renting for a year. And then she just introduced me to a friend of hers that's going to be living with her for a little bit. And then guess what? Well, she probably needs to find a place for herself. Maybe it's a rental right now, no big deal, right? Help her out wherever you can, because you never know who they know.
That's right.
You know, and by the way, they might want to buy someday.
Yeah.
You know, and at least you know where they live for 12 months. And then you can do, you know, hey, this is what's going on with the market.
For sure.
Here's a little drop by, etc. So those are a couple things. Anything else? I have a couple more that I want to share, but I'll bounce it back to you.
What did I wrote down what's holding you back.
You love that one.
I do love that one. You know, it's so funny. Everybody's been in my group now for 6 weeks. And I hand out a piece of paper that says, what are your goals for the rest of this year and next year? And like half of them at least are like they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And so what is holding everybody back? I don't know. I still think fear, lack of a plan, the same things that we always talk about.
Hey, here's a question, and I'm not calling anybody out because I don't know, and you might know a little bit more. How many of those people in the group have a plan? Like my plan is real estate reviews, database management, marketplace ads. Like I have 3 or 4 things that I rattled off, right? That's my plan. Do you think most or very few of those people have 3 or 4 things that they're trying to do on a daily basis?
Yeah. In my group, I would hope in my group now they have somewhat of a plan, and they've adopted my plan, really, basically, which is why they're there. Yeah. So before that, no, probably not. I mean, they probably have never heard anyone, talk about the things that I talk about.
Here's my next question. If they have, if they've adopted your plan and doing those things that they're supposed to fill out, do they have it on their calendar of some
probably
sort?
Not. Probably not.
Probably not. Right.
I've done a poor job. I handed out a calendar one day, right? And I didn't force everybody to do it. How many people do you think did it?
Yeah. All right, maybe we should start next week. Warning. Yeah. We're going to start next week with show me your calendar.
Yeah.
Like, where do you have your calendar? Yeah, because I think in this business, most of those people that are experienced, they have a calendar of some sort. Yeah. Like I like the Google Calendar. Yeah. Maybe they have it on paper. Yeah. But like, hey, we're gonna go around the room and let's take a look at your calendar. Man. Yeah. Because that would be pretty eye opening. Yeah. Right. And I would think, and I'm at fault as well sometimes. Right. But it's like if you say, hey, let me see your calendar. Yeah. It'd be pretty eye opening.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I know when I don't have it on my calendar, number one, it's not going to get done. And the day goes by so fast. You're like, well, crap, 2 hours is gone. It's time to go do the next thing. Yeah. And I didn't get anything done.
Even the plan to text 10 people. Yeah. Like when I say, okay, is everybody writing people down? They're not, you know? Yeah. How many are? Some are. Right. But they're not writing down 10, and they're not writing down 10 every day for sure.
Right. Right. Yeah. Another thing that I was thinking was the real estate reviews. We've talked about that. Yeah. And I know that when I commit to that and I do it, it's received really well. Personal notes and real estate reviews. I'm going to go ahead and say always get a response. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Even if it's a thank you, got your card. Yeah. Thanks for the happy birthday. Yeah. Or, every time they at least spark a conversation. Yeah. It might not lead to a sale right away, but it's a service that you're providing that definitely keeps you top of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And then YouTube videos. I'm working on that. I still have a ways to go.
Making them or watching?
Yeah, making them. Oh, yeah. Just, becoming like they talk about become the mayor of your city type of thing. There's some people that do it really, really well. Obviously, the shorts tie into that, TikToks and Reels and stuff like that. I think that's I don't think you have to do it to be a successful real estate agent.
I don't either. I think it somewhat legitimizes you to your SOI, but it's really your SOI because who else is seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, it could grow. It could grow. I mean, you could get random. I mean, there's random listeners from literally all over the world. I'm like, who the hell's live over there? I don't know. But
let me ask you this. Okay, so if you had to choose, you only could do one or two things. Yeah. What would they be? I mean, do you think going to Starbucks every day has helped you? Do you think going to the gym every day has helped you? Because those two things have and are growing your database. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's trying to meet one person a day. Yeah. And or add 2 people to your database.
So what's your answer to that question?
Well, obviously, being personable, right? And if you can add these things to complement it, in this digital world of I think it's only growing that way. Yeah. I don't personally know anybody, but I've seen real estate agents that focus on just YouTube videos and they get leads from random people that they attract by YouTube video. I don't.
That's amazing to me. Like, I don't know.
It happens. And there's a way to do it, and for $29.99, you can sign up for the class to learn how to do it, right? Type of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm interested in doing, but yeah, it's definitely not at the forefront because the forefront is going to the gym, meeting people, talking to people, bumping into them at Starbucks, doing real estate reviews for my people and then asking them for referrals or just being in front of them for when the opportunity comes up. Hey, my brother's looking to buy a house. You know, those are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And then putting that material out there for, again, my sphere. So my sphere sees me, you know, on the email, on the social media, on the YouTube link. Here's his new listing.
Yeah.
So at least for my world, my sphere, I'm everywhere.
Right.
You know, and then obviously as we add more people, cool.
Right.
It's growing.
And it's easy to add people if you're doing a good job on real estate reviews and you're saying to them like, hey, you know, this is what I do for my people. You know, it's valuable information to see the value of your home. Do you know anybody that might want to see the value of their home?
Yeah.
You know, that's a good way to ask for a referral without asking for a referral.
You know what you should do?
What?
You know what's funny? Did you study any scripts when you started this business?
No.
You're not necessarily a script guy.
No.
Right? But in all honesty, we should sit down and you should just rattle off these scripts that you do, because you're very natural at it. You know, and that's a really good script. It is a script. It comes naturally to you. But I mean, if you could just rattle off these different scripts of like, if this, say this.
Yeah.
If this, say this. You know, because I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think I personally do an okay job of that, because I'm in the business now and I kind of know how to direct the conversation. Sure. But I think there's a lot of agents that struggle. Like, what do I say?
Yeah.
Like, how?
Like, we came outside. I think you were there, and Inez and Aisha were there talking an hour after the class was over. And I don't even know what I said, but one of them said that like, oh yeah, like that's I'm like, what did you say? I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know what I even said. But
we'll just record it. Maybe that'll be a podcast.
Yeah.
So we're just.
But you know, it's like they say, I have surrounded myself and immersed myself in it so much. Like you know, Bobby and JJ, they know what to say all the time. Yeah. So do I. And I'm not thinking like, oh, you know, I'm just rattling it off.
That's on page 2.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But experience definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I know
confidence and knowing that what you're saying is valuable, because who doesn't want to know the value of their home? Everyone does. Yeah. Who do you know that wants to know the value of your home? I'm happy to help them.
Sure. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
I ran through my list. You got anything else on your list?
I think I'm good. I talked about the digital business card. I really think that is important, and get it out to as many people and have as many people subscribe or not subscribe. But
so there's several different ones. I have 2 different ones, and I found a new one that I might entertain. But dot.com, I believe it is. But it's just, dot.com. And this has a QR code. And you can tap
codes are amazing.
You know, and it pulls up my information, and boom, they can save it, or they can call me. That's really good. If you're looking for that, another one is Link. This one's really good. It has a few more options and bells and whistles on this one. It's LINQ. I probably don't use these as much as I should, but they're cool to use.
They are cool. And the easier, the better. The one that just, if they can scan that QR code and all they have to do now is put accept, and that's the end of it, as far as they know, that's the way to go.
Well, the even better one, the link right there below, like right at the top, it'll say call, text, or like email. And you just encourage them, like, hey, text me your name real quick.
Yeah.
You know, now you have that, because the most important thing is getting the number, right? So those are really good. I also have a little one on my phone. So the other day I bumped into somebody walking the neighborhood here. I wasn't carrying my cards, you know, and I was like, oh, well, I have a business card, digital. What's your number? You know, so I got his number and I texted it to him. You know, so now I'll have his number. You know, and so that works well. And I can't remember the other one, but there's a lot of them out there. So check it out. I think it's called blink.com. Like you said, Blink. BLINQ.me is a website to check out. And this one, I believe, is like free or even cheaper. So those are cool. Cool little things to have. So is that it?
Yeah, that's it for me, man.
That's it, man. So that's the show, guys. I hope you liked it. Hope you got something out of it that you can implement into your business to grow. If you did, share the show with a friend. That really helps us grow. And leave us a review. Give us a rating. That helps us grow as well. Join us on our private Facebook group called The Productive Agents. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.